WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Residents on Columbus's north side took to the streets tonight in a silent protest. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Quentin Smith. Plaintiffs for Justice organized the Silent March for Kerr-McGee plaintiffs. Marchers walked the length of 14th Avenue past where the Moss-Ty Kerr-McGee creosote plants once operated. Those who came out tonight say they want their protest to remind the public of the many people in the lawsuit settlement who still haven't received any money. For nearly 2 decades, neighbors and community leaders fought to have the plant closed, the land and water cleaned, and for a financial settlement. It's been nearly 4 years since Kerr-McGee and attorneys for the people in this neighborhood reached a $5 billion deal. But as our Jory Talley has learned, for many of those affected, the fight still continues.
Here in the backyards of 27th Street North, near the old Kerr-McGee plant, memories linger like ghosts.
My son died in 1996 with sarcoidosis, my baby. He was 28 years old. And that's one of the things that comes from this, okay? My mother died with cancer. My father died with lung cancer. My oldest brother died with lung cancer. Both of them worked at Kerr-McGee now, but it was Moss-Ty back then.
My daughter and I used to come through here, walk through here going to Morningside. When she was little. Now, at the age of 35, she's passed with breast cancer.
Eric Collins grew up here. He played here. He says what they didn't know then is killing them now.
Out here is where my brother Tim and I used to come out here and play. There used to be some water out here. We used to come out here and wrestle, play, and have fun. Blackberries. We used to eat out here. We had plum trees on down some we used to eat. We was little kids out here. They used to have little spots out there with a little water, and we used to go out there and wrestle and play in it and have just a good time. Didn't know we was getting poisoned.
One by one, Sherelle Sturdivant has lost loved ones. She believes the danger is still close by.
You still can see the creosote on some of those poles on the next street. There's a lady over there got a pole right in front of her drive, and the creosote comes out on the black creosote, okay? And it's a lot of stuff going on right here. Like when the water get up back here, it have grease on top of it. Like if it rain a lot.
When the settlement was approved, Sturdivant says she did what the lawyers told her to do.
Every time you call that 800 number, they give you they sent me a paper to fill out. I filled it out and sitting back. That's been over a year ago. You hadn't heard anything else from it. When I call that 800 number, they tell you it's still pending, okay? But you hadn't heard anything from them. They denied my baby died with sarcoidosis. They've denied him 3 times.
And she still doesn't have any money. Neither does Collins.
While they're up there, with the golden parachute, we sitting around here dying and suffering with cancer and whatever, and not getting a dime.
That was our Jory Talley reporting there. Now, Collins says 25,000 people have made claims against the settlement. That's 25,000 individuals that the attorneys for the fund say they must vet or approve before any payouts can begin. And it is now time to turn our attention over to weather. Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson is standing by with a first look at our forecast. Keith?
Quentin, it's a very mild Thursday evening, 10:05 here, 76 degrees in Tupelo, 74 in Columbus, 72 in Starkville. We are very nice and mild here, widespread 70s. A little bit of patchy fog trying to develop, but by and large, we're looking at some quiet conditions, very warm temperatures here in the southeast right now. Over the next 24 hours, well, that went by pretty fast, but we are looking at some temperatures tomorrow right around 90. Much like today, the heat index may be in the mid-90s. Your weekend forecast coming up.
Thanks so much, Keith. U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos visits Mississippi today as part of her Rethink School tour. She's learning about a program that provides high school students better access to advanced placement courses. Courtney Ann Jackson explains how the visit became an opportunity for educators to voice their concerns.
Schools in rural Mississippi face many challenges, but access sums much of that up. Holmes County students are now connecting to more resources than the district alone can provide. This AP Physics class isn't just normal classroom work. Video chat tutoring and online classes from elite teachers around the country are used as supplements.
This is really the heart of physics.
But realistically, this format isn't possible statewide.
We need to be able to provide those kids high-speed internet, broadband service so that we can deliver this.
I think that is continuing to improve, but having that capability for students in the long term certainly has to be a part of the equation. And I know the FCC is moving as quickly as it can with fulfilling that goal.
But most of Education Secretary Betsy DeVos's answers to the state's challenges turn to rethinking the status quo.
Continuing to encourage Mississippi as a state to take the opportunity it has to address things in new ways and to think creatively and outside of the box on how to address some of these intransigent issues that have been the reality.
Still, thinking outside the box isn't always possible when some schools are struggling just to have a teacher in the classroom.
Secretary, this year alone, we have 63 vacant positions filled by substitute teachers.
To that, DeVos says she'd like to see teachers have more autonomy in the classroom and opportunities to advance professionally. For those who don't have the teachers or resources, the hope is that the AP Access model can fill in some of the gaps.
Democratic Senate candidate David Berry plans a trip to Knoxville County tomorrow to meet with teachers, parents, and officials at one of the 2 schools still to be closing due to budget cuts. The Mississippi Supreme Court is standing firm on its decision allowing permit holders to pack their pistols in courthouses. On Thursday, the justices declined to rehear a June ruling clearing the way for enhanced carry permit holders to bring guns into courthouse. The decision was made after a citizen challenged a 2011 order issued by 14th Chancery Court Judge Dorothy Colomb banning firearms from courthouse grounds. However, guns will still be banned from actual courtrooms. Every county in Mississippi faces an uphill struggle finding enough money in the budget to handle road repairs. However, in Chickasaw County, some much-needed funds are on the way, but it won't be enough to cover everything. Our Victoria Bailey finds out where the money is coming in from and how far it could go.
As a result of the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico 8 years ago, Houston and Holka will receive some of the settlement funds.
We had got approached by my senator and representative down there and said, hey, look, you're fixing to get some money. Come across, I think, as an email from MML as a probability this something was going to happen. But actually hearing it first was from our legislators in the state, which was an amount of about $300,000.
And we put in for it over the last 4 or 5 years, and we didn't get any until this year. And a couple of weeks ago, Preston Sullivan called me one day and said, the legislature appropriated some money for y'all, and then the next day I got a call from Senator Jolly telling me the same thing and said we had $200,000.
The funds will repair and pave roads in the Chickasaw County towns. Holcomb Mayor Jimmy Kelly is thankful for the money.
That, you know, you need good roads to get people into your town. If your roads are all tore up, then they don't want to come into town.
However, the cash is just scratching the surface of all the repairs that need to be made.
We were hopeful that maybe we got just open in where we could do what we felt like we needed to do worse. But on the other hand, too, if you get money to pave streets, then that kind of frees up other things that you can do with the other money.
Houston Mayor Stacey Parker says his town's share will cover a need there.
We done worked on water and sewer for years, and we will continue to do that. But now we're going to be working on downtown projects, redoing our sidewalks, which is with tourism dollars. We're going to be redoing our Tanglefoot Trailhead parking lot, adding that down at our trailhead with tourism dollars. And we're redoing our multi-purpose field. This money needs to go directly to streets.
Most of all, both mayors say they are thankful for the economic boost.
Without the help from the senator and the state representatives to get this money, you know, you're a little bitty town here, so you know, unless you have somebody in there pitching for you, trying to get you some money, it's hard to do, and they've been instrumental in getting this money for us, so we certainly do appreciate them.
That was our Victoria Bailey reporting there. Now, the mayors don't know when the money will get here, but they plan to put it to work as soon as they can.
It's been looking and feeling just like summer, and this trend that you see right here will continue for our Friday for the weekend. A few changes next week. We'll talk about that after the break.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Our exclusive Alpha Insurance camera here at Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon, Alabama. Today in Lamar County shows those bubbling cumulus clouds. We got a few isolated showers out there today, but overall a pretty nice one here for our Thursday. Let's talk about football. On Saturday we have some college games. Let's talk about the Ole Miss game. It looks like a warm afternoon. The kickoff at 3 o'clock on Saturday, well into the 80s here. In Starkville, the kickoff is at 6:30, 80s, then some 70s. And then earlier in the day out in northwestern Arkansas, Bama taking on Arkansas. There could be a few showers and storms out that way, temperatures in the lower 80s. Now, the cooler fall-like air up to the northwest, you can see how it's been staying up there all day long. The dividing line has not really been advancing to the southeast. It's stalled out. And that's why we will be warm for our Friday and for this upcoming weekend. But speaking of the cold, this is Jamestown, North Dakota. It looks like the highway is wet, and that is some wet snow. We have snow falling here across northern plains. And let me just tell you, I used to work up here in the Dakotas, and when you get snow in September and October, it just extends that winter season so long. You just are ready for spring, but that's a long ways off from us down here. We got a very little chance for rain through the weekend, a slightly better chance Monday and Tuesday, and by midweek next week, if we get a front and some tropical moisture because of some of this down here in the Caribbean, we may see some rain around here a little bit more so. A 50% chance for at least some tropical development with that low complex. Very disorganized right now. Something to watch out for as we go throughout the next couple of days. For our Friday, we're looking at a repeat of what we had today, around 70 at 7 o'clock for the morning commute, back up to around 90 by lunch, and into the upper 80s and low 90s everywhere during the course of the afternoon. Some of those friendly clouds are bubbling on up. Can't rule out a stray shower. We'll keep that rain chance at 0. Winds from the south and southwest at about 3 to 7 miles per hour. Warm everywhere here in Mississippi and Alabama for tomorrow. The heat index may be as warm as 95 or so here for our Friday. Here's Futurecast, and notice how these fronts really just cannot get down here as we go throughout the course of the next couple of days. But as I mentioned, we may see a little bit of a change as we get into next week. Here's your 7-day, 90 Friday, Saturday, give or take on Sunday too. Upper 80s to mid 80s Monday and Tuesday. Better rain opportunities if we're lucky there, Quentin, by Wednesday and Thursday.
Call it end zone light. We take a look at some high school football teams getting an early start on the weekend, coming up a little later in sports. Welcome back. Well, it looks like the flu season is getting an early start in North Mississippi. In fact, flu shots are already available in most areas. But there are some things you can do to keep yourself safe and healthy. We learn more in tonight's Health Talk with the Baptist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lee Richardson, a physician in the emergency room at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight I want to talk to you about some ways you can lower your risk of catching the flu. We tested more than 5,600 people for flu in the emergency room last year, which is about double the number for the past years. We are already seeing patients who are testing positive for the flu this early in the season. There are steps you can take to avoid catching the flu. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. When you are sick, keep your distance from others to protect them from getting sick too. Stay at home from work, school, and errands when you are sick. Cover your mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing. It may prevent those around you from getting sick. Washing your hands often will protect you from germs. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. Germs are often spread when a person touches something that is contaminated with germs and then touches his or her eyes, nose, or mouth. Take a high-quality vitamin and mineral supplement daily. Most of us don't eat all the fresh fruits and vegetables we need for optimum nutrition. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces at home, work, or school, especially when someone is ill. Get plenty of sleep, be physically active, manage your stress, drink plenty of fluids, and eat nutritious food. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle.
A big week of high school football kicks off a day early. We'll have highlights from Aberdeen, North Pontotoc, Okolona, and Calhoun City next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel.
A football appetizer before jumping into the main thing Thursday night. Let's jump into it. Starting in Aberdeen, the Choctaw County Chargers in town to face the Bulldogs. Chargers got off to a fast start, looking good. A long drive would end with an Elijah Lampkin stiff arm, 6 points. The extra point would be no good, but hey, Chargers have the lead. Aberdeen would answer quickly, still in the first. Fred Fields rolls out right. Watch him uncork one. A beauty deep ball to William Johnson for the touchdown. That's a dime. 2-point conversion would be no good, so it's a tie ball game 6-6. But after an Aberdeen onside kick, Brandon Williams, get out of his way. 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles, 3 missed tackles. Take the 4th guy to touch Brandon and finally drag him down. Let the man eat. But that'll be the end of the first quarter. So beginning of the second quarter, this is what makes Fred Fields so good. Buying time, making moves, finds Williams in the flat. He's going to race off into the end zone for 6. That would give Aberdeen the 12-6 lead, but the Chargers would capitalize on a muffed punt to tie it up. And Choctaw County sneaks out of Aberdeen with a big division win, topping the Bulldogs 26-18. And to North Pontotoc, the V-men looking to stay perfect against Kossuth. These highlights don't do North Pontotoc any justice. Matthew Bobo sneaks in for the touchdown, makes it 6-0 Kossuth. Extra point no good, but here come the Vikings. Hunter West up the middle, bullying for a first down, dragging people, but that drive would fizzle out. So second quarter, still 6-0 Kossuth. Aggies in punt formation. Look out! Fake punt alert. Bobo to Lane Henry. But they would later have to punt on the drive anyway, but they get the ball back. And Bobo, he's going to roll out right and find Kenner Mills. And the senior's going to take it into the end zone. It'd be 13-0 at halftime, but North Pontotoc rallies off 28 unanswered, and the Vikings remain perfect. They get the W 28-13 over Kossuth. To the Boneyard, Calhoun City facing off against East Webster. Early on for the Wolverines, Parker Burleson's going to punt it away. He might not want to do that. To Chardarius Hill, he's got a block, making people miss, and that man is off to the races. Look at the platoon of Calhoun City Wildcats. Chardarius takes it 81 yards to the house. PAT no good, 6-0 Wildcats. Later on, City back on offense after an interception. Hill, he's going to get the ball off a sweep. He's going to rumble in from 5 yards out for the touchdown, so it's 12-0 Calhoun City. But on the ensuing kickoff, here comes East Webster. Kevon Patterson, another guy you don't want to kick the ball to. He's going to find a crease here up the middle. Good blocking. Oh, look at him turn on the Jets. See you later, Kevon. Touchdown, East Webster. We'll make it a 1-score game, but Calhoun City rolls down the stretch to a 35-6 win. TCPS traveling to Okolona to take on the Chieftains. Man, Okolona meant business tonight, but early on, Kai Holiday is going to play action pass to John Avery Herod for the first down across the middle, and that would set up Cody Coggins right up the gut, making people miss, untouched for 6. So TCPS up early on, but the following drive, here comes Okolona. Jacorius Stanfield. Look at the moves by this young fella. 1-man miss, 2 people miss, 3 people miss, 4, 5, 6 person to bring him down. That end with a Stanfield touchdown. And then in the first quarter, still Deontay Hampton, the big fella, 40 yards to the house. See you later. Okolona gets the W 46-20. Some quick scores from around the area. Baldwin, 2 straight. They defeat Bruce 21-13. Lafayette defeats Lewisburg 35-6. An insane game in the fourth. Oxford defeats DeSoto Central 21-17. Biggersville also wins 38-0. Then in the JUCO ranks, EMCC dominates Northwest 34-6. ICC gets a big road win 37-34 over 18th ranked Holmes. Northeast defeated at home by Mississippi Delta 41-11. Jones defeating Pearl River 48-7. And last but not least, Colin taking down East Central 42-17. That's it for sports. We'll have a last secure forecast next.
We were just reminiscing about pizza here during the break, and
taste buds taste right now as we speak.
That's the only thing we can talk about when the weather has just been very persistent. More heat through the weekend, some rain chances into next week.
So is there a chance we'll get a front coming in to get some cooler weather
Maybe
in?
next week there by next Wednesday, something to hope for.
So pray for a front.
There you go.
Sounds like a plan. Have a good night, everyone.